The 2021 National Tourism Careers Expo is taking place at the Joburg Expo Center. That's in Newzroom, and it ends today. The Careers Expo aims to help create jobs in the tourism industry and to introduce high school pupils to the sector. Ahmed Kaji is standing by. He's at the Newzroom Expo Center. Good afternoon to you, Ahmed. What's happening there?
Yes, Dudu, it's just gone lunchtime here at the Newzroom Expo Center, so many of the pupils have made their way through to their different lunch stations as well. But I'm just going to take you through what we have seen over the last few days and at least over the last few hours as well. Over to my right-hand side, I'll just ask my colleague Liana to maybe just pan out through. You will see a stage center, and that's where most of the presentations were taking place today here at Newzroom. There are two halls which are being used. This is one of the main halls, 7, if you are familiar with the Newzroom site, and then 10B, which is a bit further down from where we are at the moment. You will see these are some of the displays and some of the information stations where some of the pupils can come and get a bit more information about the various aspects, various companies and various organizations within the tourism and the travel sector as well. Many of these are very important for those who are looking to get into careers within the sector. Over the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism and travel sector was one of the hardest hit when it came through the negative economic ramifications as well. But apart from the COVID-19 pandemic, in terms of bringing people into the sector and bringing high school students into the travel and tourism sector, educational institutions are a key part of that. And I think a big part of one of those is the University of Johannesburg, as they have a dedicated and designated travel, tourism and hospitality department at the campus now as well. And I am going to bring into the conversation the marketing manager from the University of Johannesburg's School and Hospitality and Tourism Department, Thanks very much for your time today. How important would you say it is for educational institutions to have dedicated hospitality and tourism schools?
But I would say it really is important. As you can imagine, tourism is a sector, and tourism and hospitality really is a sector that touches every side of different aspects, whether it's economic, whether it's social. It's a very all-encompassing kind of sector. It sort of goes hand in hand with all other economic or social chains. So it's really important that we almost find a way to upskill, dedicate our time and invest in the skills and the resources that need to get into the sector.
What's the interest level been like from these grade 11 pupils who have been here today? This is an important year for them, with their university applications coming through within the next few months, and then their matric results having a big part to play with them getting into university.
Yeah. So what I've seen is that they're really curious. Some of them are still thinking about what they want to do. They're not really clear. So this is a great opportunity for them to find the clarity around, is this the direction that I want to go? So a lot of them have already have consumer studies as a subject or tourism as a subject, but they're still trying to figure out where is it going to lead me to. So this kind of opportunity is great for them because then they can talk to institutions in terms of the next step in terms of education, but they can also talk to industry partners and find out, okay, once I've got my qualification, where are the opportunities, either from an entrepreneurship point of view or work opportunities.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time today. I'm sure there will be a lot more interest coming through between now and the end of the day with regards to educational institutions for pupils as well. I'm now also just going to ask my colleague Liana to maybe just pan to your right to see some of the other companies which are also here and other institutions which are here at the Expo. You will see in front of you the Johannesburg Metro Police Department, a big part of what we have seen in Gauteng coming through as well. They play a big part in the safety, the security within the country, and they also play an important part within the tourism sector as well. So they may not be actively involved in the traditional senses of the word, but to maybe just take into consideration the public safety that they normally would take place. You will see many people, some of the students getting a lot of information as well. Over there, you will also see towards your right-hand side the Northwest University. So along with the University of Johannesburg, tertiary institutions are playing an important part around what we are seeing over here. And Dudu, I think a big part of what I would like to also point out is that this particular expo is hosted by the Department of Tourism and is also being held in a hybrid model as well. It was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic and is taking place in Gauteng for the first time as well. Over in previous years, we have seen it taking place in KwaZulu-Natal, down in Durban, as well as the Western Cape in the form of Cape Town as well. And those are some of the big tourist hubs which we do see in South Africa as well. KwaZulu-Natal and the city of Cape Town taking massive hits when it comes through to some of the challenges with regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. We have spoken to over here at Newzroom Afrika, the Table Mountain Aerial Cable Company, and they spoke a lot about the major challenges which they had with regards to COVID-19 regulations. Another aspect of tourism and travel, Dudu, which we are seeing is also aviation and the travel sector as well. We saw the Department of Transport rolling out a number of campaigns on their front regarding the increase in tourism. We would have seen this over the last few weeks as well, with the holiday season kicking in for many of the schools as well. And then obviously with the June period, the September period, and the December period as well. And like we say, South African Airways and South African Airways Technical is also present here at the Expo. And I think I'm now going to bring in Faith Sikakane from South African Airways. Faith, thanks for your time today. Aviation sector has a big part to play with regards to the tourism sector. How exactly would you say has the response been for learners and their interest in the aviation sector and South African Airways?
Absolutely. First of all, we are very excited and delighted to be back in the skies. And yes, we do play a very big role when it comes to tourism, because how else do you expect as tourists to travel? So we really play a big role. And the biggest objective for us here today was to interact and share the knowledge that we have to the students as they prepare for the careers, giving that career guidance to say not only, South African Airways is about the pilots and necessarily the crew. However, there are several other departments such as SA Technical. They could become engineers. They could join the corporate world and be IT, other finance, commercial sales, and stuff like that. So they really welcome the information, and they're really looking forward to our apprenticeship that we are currently offering as well as students.
Can you maybe just take us through some of those details of this apprenticeship as the relaunch of South African Airways continues?
I will hand over to my colleague here to tell you more.
Colin, as I mentioned, maybe just some information with regards to the apprenticeship with regards to SA?
Yes, thank you. Definitely, we can't talk about South African Airways without talking about South African Airways Technical. In Technical, we actually maintain the aircraft and we keep them flying. We make them serviceable. There are several trades that are available for our potential candidates. We've got aircraft mechanics who deal with the engines. We've got avionics, whereby we talk about the instruments, the radios, and the electrical power to the aircraft. We've got painters, we've got actually aircraft welders as well. Composites, which is lighter structures for the structures of the aircraft itself, because it has to go into the air. So opportunities are available for our potential candidates and learners. They can come through, but of course required of them is to have maths, pure maths, and physics and English as the minimum subjects. And then they are more than welcome to also engage with the people on the floor to get more details.
Colin, thanks very much for your time. I'm sure the SAA team will continue to receive questions from students between now and the end of the day, Dudu. So it seems that those even in the artisanal industries who will be going into those sectors will still be involved within the travel and tourism sectors with regards to their careers going forward. Many of the pupils over here are between the ages of 16 and 18, and that's an important age group when it comes through to what their tertiary education journey will be like, and then a few years beyond that heading into their professional lives. So the Department of Tourism focusing mainly in Gauteng, have worked with various schools in the province to ensure that educators as well as pupils get a basic understanding of what the tourism sector is like for the country and what opportunities there will be in the future to do.
Ahmed Kaji, an important event that for those students. Thank you very much for that update.